Travel far enough beneath the ocean and something unsettling begins to happen. At around 400 or 900 feet down, the familiar creatures of shallow water twist into forms that feel almost unreal. Their bodies stretch, their eyes either swell to impossible proportions or vanish entirely, and strange appendages bloom where they never should. It is as if evolution itself rewrote their biology in the dark. But squids undergo this transformation more dramatically than anything else. Some turn transparent, some replace soft suckers with hooks built to tear, and the deepest ones become creatures so bizarre they hardly resemble the animals we know. Why does the ocean twist life into such disturbing shapes the farther down you go? Why are squids especially vulnerable to this creeping distortion, and what exactly waits in the darkness beyond even the giant squid? To understand why this happens at all, we have to begin with where these creatures live. You will not meet one of the deep ocean's stranger squids by accident. Most squids that humans encounter look like the reef squid, a common species living in the epipelagic zone. These are the normal squids that come to mind, fast and colorful, adapted to sunlight and shallow water. But when the descent continues into the twilight zone, the first hints of distortion begin. Firefly squids develop bioluminescent light across their bodies, glowing like drifting constellations. Glass squids become nearly invisible, their bodies turning clear as if carved from ice. Strange, yes, but not yet frightening. At the deepest edge of this zone, however, the transformation intensifies. Here lives the Humboldt squid, the first true example of deep-sea creepification. Growing over 6 feet long and weighing up to 100 pounds, they abandon the gentle suckers of their relatives. Instead, they evolve hooks sharp enough to rip flesh. And unlike earlier squids, these do not hunt alone. They work in packs, flashing red and white signals across their skin to coordinate their attacks. They are known as the red devils of the sea, not only because of their color, but because of their behavior. Hyper-aggressive, fast, and unpredictable. They move at speeds of roughly 25 miles an hour, far beyond what a human could ever match in open water. Thankfully, they rarely target anything our size, choosing instead shrimp, crabs, and even smaller members of their own species. Despite their fearsome appearance, no human deaths have been recorded from Humboldt squid encounters. For now, at least, we are safe. But this is only the beginning. Because once the descent continues into the midnight zone, the ocean reshapes squids into forms that look as though evolution itself had slipped into madness. In the midnight zone, sunlight disappears entirely. Pressure climbs, temperatures fall, and creatures take on shapes that feel almost detached from nature. Here, squids are no longer merely strange. They become unsettling. The first of these is Promachoteuthis the squid that appears to have human teeth. At first glance, it looks like something designed in a nightmare, but those teeth are not teeth at all. They are folded lips of soft tissue wrapped around a beak it still uses to slice tiny prey. Whether that explanation makes it less disturbing is debatable. Only a single specimen has ever been collected, barely an inch long. Its rarity is due not only to its deep habitat, but to the fact that these squids seem uncommon even within it. On the other end of the spectrum is the giant squid, the largest squid in the world and a classic symbol of deep-sea gigantism. These animals can reach an estimated 45 feet in length, though so few have been found that the true upper limit remains a mystery. Their eyes are the largest in the animal kingdom, wider than dinner plates, evolved to detect faint silhouettes in absolute darkness. Giant squids are powerful predators equipped with long tentacles lined with teeth and a beak capable of cutting through flesh. They battle sperm whales thousands of feet below the surface, leaving scars that once served as our only proof they existed. Most myths of the kraken trace back to glimpses of these enormous creatures rising from the depths. Yet despite their size, we have almost no direct knowledge of them. We do not know their population, their lifespan, how they mate, or where they lay their eggs. What little we understand comes from washed-up remains and the evidence left on whales. Why then do these squids grow so enormous? One idea is that in the cold, nearly empty, deep, larger bodies conserve energy better. They can store more nutrients and move efficiently across vast distances. Another theory is that size allows them to travel farther in search of food or mates in an environment where life is spread thin. But even with their colossal scale, our knowledge of them is fragmentary. And yet the giant squid is still not the strangest thing waiting in the deep. Beneath the midnight zone lies a realm far more hostile. The abyssopelagic zone, often called simply the abyss, stretches from 4,000 to 6,000 meters deep. Here, sunlight is gone forever. The pressure is immense, the temperature hovers just above freezing, and life drifts in a slow, haunting rhythm. No plants survive here. Most food descends from above, as marine snow, tiny fragments falling from the world of light. Only the most specialized organisms can exist in this darkness: deep sea worms, sea cucumbers, drifting jellies, and of course squids. One of the strangest is Asparoteuthis acanthoderma, a squid so thin and gelatinous it seems barely real. It can reach up to 15 feet long, yet it drifts with almost no effort. Its trailing arms may sense vibrations in the water, but the truth is that nearly everything about it remains unknown. Its depth alone protects it from human study. But deeper still lies the heaviest squid on Earth, the colossal squid. Unlike the giant squid, it is not simply long but truly massive, belonging to a different family entirely. The giant squid is lean and built for speed. The colossal squid is thick, heavy, and brutally strong, growing nearly 35 feet long and weighing over 1,000 pounds. The largest estimates suggest they may reach 1,300 pounds. Its hunting method is different too. Instead of striking with long whip-like tentacles, it lunges at movement in the dark using rotating hooks that twist into flesh. Once it secures its prey, it drags it toward a beak strong enough to slice through bone. Each eye is about 11 inches across, and in some adults may even surpass those of the giant squid. So who would win in a fight? At long range, the giant squid has the advantage. It is faster and has greater reach. But at close quarters, the colossal squid is a tank. Heavier, thicker, and armed with hooks instead of suction cups, it would likely overpower the giant squid in brute force alone. Yet a battle like this would almost never happen. They live in different worlds. Giant squids remain in the midnight zone where the water is slightly warmer and richer in oxygen. Colossal squids dwell deeper in the abyss around Antarctica, far beyond the limits giant squids can comfortably reach. Despite their differences, both share one terrifying predator, the sperm whale. These whales dive thousands of meters into total darkness, guided only by echolocation, hunting the giants of the deep. When they return to the surface, scars from hooks and suckers cover their heads. Inside their stomachs, scientists find the beaks of the squids they consumed, the only parts that never digest. But even this is not the bottom. There is one more realm deeper and darker than all the others. Beyond the abyss lies the Hadal Zone, the deepest environment on Earth. Beginning around 6,000 meters and plunging all the way to nearly 11,000 meters in the Mariana Trench, this realm is made of narrow trenches and steep, silent troughs. Here, pressure is so extreme and temperatures so cold that almost nothing survives. Only simple organisms like worms and microbes persist in these depths. And yet something far more disturbing also lives here. At the edge of the Hadal Zone exists the Magnapinna, the bigfin squid. No other squid looks like it. Long, spindly arms stretch downward like drifting ribbons, each bending strangely at the elbow. The few images we possess come from grainy submersible footage. No full adult has ever been captured. No specimen has been studied alive. Everything we know comes from fleeting glimpses in the dark. The ones recorded so far reach about 20 feet in length. Still smaller than giant squids, but infinitely stranger. Some scientists believe older adults could be much larger, but because they move so slowly, submersibles may pass them without realizing it. Even the ones we have filmed are likely juveniles. Why did evolution sculpt this squid into something so unnerving? Energy is scarce in the Hadal depths. Movement burns precious calories. The bigfin may have evolved to drift almost motionless, letting its long arms hang like a fishing net in the water. The elbow-like bend helps control those arms without tangling them. Even its translucent, colorless skin is functional. If a predator uses bioluminescence, the squid reflects almost nothing, remaining invisible. All of this remains speculation because our knowledge is almost non-existent. But the bigfin's design suggests survival, not malice. Terrifying as it looks, it might be harmless to humans. What unsettles us is not danger, but ignorance. We know far more about giant squids than bigfins, and even giant squids remain mysteries. With less than 5% of the deep ocean explored, there could be dozens of unknown squid species hidden in trenches we have never reached. Some might be larger, some stranger. Even the species we recognize were discovered mostly by accident or through the whales that hunted them, and sperm whales do not venture deep enough to reach the Hadal Zone at all. If something like the bigfin exists down there, what else could be waiting in the dark that we have yet to see? For all the fear these creatures inspire, the truth is that the deep ocean is still an unopened book. If the bigfin squid can survive in the darkness of the Hadal Trench, then it is almost certain that other species exist beyond our reach, waiting in places we have never sent a camera. Some scientists even speculate that larger relatives of the bigfin may drift so slowly and silently that our submersibles glide past them without ever noticing. Even the squids we do know, like the giant and the colossal, were not discovered through direct study. They were first revealed through the scars they left on sperm whales and the beaks found inside whale stomachs. Every encounter has been accidental, a reminder that our understanding of the deep comes mostly from creatures dragged upward by chance. And if our knowledge of these giants is so limited, imagine how little we truly know about life 10,000 meters below the surface. The Hadal trenches are so deep, so rarely explored, that entire groups of animals may exist there without ever being recorded. As much as these squids fascinate us, there is a limit to how much we might want to see. The ocean's deepest realms rewrite life in ways that feel unnatural to our eyes, turning familiar shapes into alien forms. If something stranger than the bigfin squid does exist, below it remains hidden for now. But with only 5% of the deep ocean explored, the unknown is far larger than what we have seen. And whatever waits in the darkness may be more extraordinary, more terrifying, and more beautiful than anything we can imagine.